Imagine this. The sun is a thin gold coin just breaking the tree line. The lake's so still it looks like God pressed pause on the world, and the only sounds are the soft click of my dad's reel, the distant cry of a loon, and the sudden, unholy screech of a golf cart doing 40 in a 15 zone. I'm Ethan Caldwell, 36, ex-field geologist turned remote reclamation ninja, which means I can smell illegal fill dirt from 3 counties away and bill by the hour for the privilege. 6 months ago, I inherited Grandpa Harlan's cedar-shingled cabin on the north finger of Crystalwater Lake, Northridge, Minnesota, population 4,312 until the Chicago money showed up and started building houses the size of aircraft carriers. The cabin smells like 1958 and coffee grounds, and every summer I ever spent learning how to tie a Palomar knot before I could spell it. Dad, Sergeant Major Thomas Tommy Caldwell, sits in his carbon fiber wheelchair at the end of Heron Point Public Dock, casting a silver spoon into water so clear you can see the ghosts of walleye cruising 20 feet down. He lost both legs to an RPG outside Key, Sand in '69. Came home with a chest full of medals and a head full of nightmares that still wake him at 0300 like clockwork. The VA tried everything, pills, talk therapy, group circles. Nothing worked until we started these dawn patrols to the lake. Something about the rhythmic whir of the reel, the way the mist curls off the water like cigarette smoke, the way the pine needles warm and release that green, sweet smell when the sun finally hits them. It quiets the war. Doctor's orders, for hours minimum, 3 times a week. So there we were, living our best quiet life, when the golf cart from hell rounded the bend doing Mach 2, tires spitting gravel like machine gun fire. Valerie Hargrove, 52, going on tyrannical, fresh off a private jet from Naperville. Husband Preston Hargrove, the kind of developer who sees a wetland and thinks basement media room. Within 90 days of closing on their 6,800 square foot monstrosity, Valerie had self-appointed as Supreme Commander of Willow Creek Shores, the gated tumor that metastasized across what used to be Grandpa's favorite duck marsh. She didn't walk anywhere. She patrolled, white visor the size of a manhole cover, clipboard swinging like Excalibur, measuring lawn height with a stainless steel ruler she probably had monogrammed. She'd already racked up a body count. Got Los Tacos Hermanos food truck banned for attracting day laborers who might pee in the hydrangeas. Forced Mrs. Delgado, 81, to repaint her mailbox 3 times because Sage Mist was not in the approved Sherwin-Williams fan deck. Had Mr. Reyes's classic El Camino towed because the chrome bumper created reflective glare hazardous to migratory birds. Real piece of work. So when Valerie's cart screeched to a halt beside our canopy, the $49 Walmart special I'd popped up so Dad wouldn't fry in the September sun, I knew we were in for it. She hopped out in tennis whites so bright they needed a warning label, tape measure snapping open like a switchblade. "This abomination," she hissed, jabbing at the canopy like it had personally insulted her bloodline, "violates Willow Creek Shores Visual Harmony Ordinance 47B, subsection C, paragraph 9. Immediate removal or $750 daily fine, payable to the HOA Beautification Fund, which I chair. Thank you very much." I blinked up from tying a new leader. "Ma'am, this is public access parcel 17-004, county-owned since 1923. Feel free to Google the plat map on your way back to your McMansion." Her face cycled through every shade of red Home Depot cells. "I don't care what some outdated communist document says, young man. I am Deputy Environmental Compliance Officer for Northridge County, and I have authority." She whipped out a stack of citations pre-printed on what looked like official letterhead, complete with a gold foil seal. She definitely made it Kinko's. Dad caught my eye. Same look he gave me in 1994 when the neighbor kid stole my Game Boy. "Let it go, son. Pick your battles." So we did. Folded the canopy, loaded the chair, rolled away while Valerie filmed us in 4K like she was directing the season finale of Suburban Justice Warriors. That night, I couldn't sleep. The way she'd sneered, "People like you," kept looping in my head, hot and sour. At 2:17 a.m., I found myself ankle-deep in Grandpa Harlan's lockbox, the one he kept under the floorboard by the wood stove, smelled like mothballs and secrets. Deeds from 1938, survey ribbons stiff with age, and there, buried between tax receipts from the Eisenhower administration, The original 1959 partition agreement when he sold the uplands to the first developer. He didn't just keep the mineral rights, he kept everything under the surface. Traverse limestone so pure it rings like a bell when you strike it, and a perpetual public access easement with enforcement teeth sharp enough to bite through a yacht club. Page 14, paragraph 8, written in fountain pen ink that still smelled like iron. Grantor's heirs shall have unrestricted surface access for mineral evaluation and extraction, including equipment staging, across any portion of the conveyed parcel. Translation: I could legally park a Cat 390 excavator in Valerie Hargrove's koi pond and wave hello while I dug to China. I sat on the porch until the sun bled across the water, heart hammering so hard I felt it in my teeth. She thought she owned the lake. Grandpa made damn sure the lake would always own her. The next morning there was a neon orange citation flapping on my windshield like a surrender flag made of spite. Unauthorized transient encampment. $750, signed Valerie Hargrove, Deputy Environmental Enforcement, Northridge County. I laughed so hard coffee came out my nose. One call to the county administrator. Ma'am, we have no record of a Valerie Hargrove. We don't even have Deputy Environmental Enforcers. That position was abolished in 1983. Impersonating a public official, 3 years federal, minimum. I spent $400 on Real-Link trail cams and tucked them into the reeds like venomous little spiders. 2 days later, Valerie's back in her golf cart wearing a Rent-A-Cop badge she ordered off eBay, slapping fake tickets on Grandpa Reyes's 1978 Chevy because his grandson's backpack constituted excessive equipment storage. The 4K footage was so crisp I could read the expiration date on her Botox. But Valerie doesn't do escalation, she does nuclear. She hired Tactical Response Solutions, weekend warriors in knockoff plate carriers, to block the launch with cones that said, "Authorized personnel only." Called ICE on the Martinez family because 4 Hispanic kids with Spider-Man fishing rods equals cartel reconnaissance. Created a Facebook group called Willow Creek Shores Safety Watch and posted Dad and me under Vagrant Camp Threat Level Red. Zoomed in on his wheelchair like it was a stolen shopping cart full of cans. The comment section turned into a digital lynch mob. We worked hard for our view. Keep those people out. I felt the rage settle low and hot in my gut. Same rage Dad carried home in a duffel bag from Southeast Asia. Only mine came with Wi-Fi and a law degree attached. My best friend from grad school, Lauren Park, environmental litigator with a smile that could gut a shark, spent a weekend in the county recorder's dungeon and surfaced holding plutonium. Preston Hargrove's company, $1.47 million in mechanics liens, $920,000 in back taxes, EPA wetlands violations on 3 separate projects. Their mansion leveraged so hard the bank had a spare key hidden in the fake rock by the front door. And the limestone under their cul-de-sac? $2.8 million extractable, museum grade, rings like church bells. Lauren leaned back in my kitchen chair, eyes glittering like broken glass in moonlight. Minnesota Century Code 525.05, Mineral Estate, is dominant, Ethan. You can legally drive a quarry truck through her kitchen and blow her a kiss on the way to the deposit. That's when Valerie called 911. Not on fireworks, not on a bear, on us. 2 hostile males establishing terrorist encampment, possible explosives in tackle box. 4 squad cars rolled in hot, lights strobing red-blue-red across the mist. Valerie standing on the dock in Lululemon armor. iPhone up like she's Spielberg. Sergeant Ramirez, ex-Marine, took one look at Dad's Vietnam veteran cap, one look at our $12 folding chairs, one look at Valerie's rhinestone sunglasses at 6:12 a.m., and sighed so deep I felt it in my soul. 20 minutes later, he's lecturing her about Minnesota Statute 609.505, false reports to police, while slipping me his direct cell. Call if Cruella de Vil shows up again, Mr. Caldwell. But Valerie had poked a sleeping bear with a very sharp, very legal stick. I found the 1959 Public Access Covenant, buried so deep in the deed riders it needed a spelunking permit. Every single lot in Willow Creek Shores carries the clause, public fishing and passive recreation rights guaranteed in perpetuity, enforceable by original grantor's heirs with full remedy at law and equity. Translation: I wasn't just allowed to fish, I was the enforcer. So I did what any rational human would do. Called Northridge Aggregate and Stone. Hey, I own $2.8 million in limestone under a gated community and legal right to dig it up. When can we schedule a site survey? The silence on the line was so complete, I heard the guy's heartbeat. Then, we can have crews on site tomorrow. Mr. Caldwell, just say the word. The survey stakes went in at dawn, bright orange flags snapping in the breeze like war banners. Every beep of the GPS unit was a gunshot in Valerie's carefully curated Instagram life. She lost her damn mind. Trail cams caught her at 2:17 a.m. in black yoga pants and a ski mask that said, "Namaste, bitches." Yanking stakes out with a crowbar she definitely bought at Home Depot with her husband's Amex. Felony vandalism, $15,000 minimum. 2 nights later, she's dumping quart containers of used motor oil by the launch, trying to frame us for an eco-crime. Then, chef's kiss, breaks into my Tacoma at 3:04 a.m., caught by the dash cam I installed after her first meltdown, rifling through my glove box looking for survey maps, while muttering, "I'll bury these hillbillies." Mrs. Delgado, 81, sweet as church candy, slid into my DMs with 6 months of secret recordings, Valerie threatening to seize her terrier for covenant violations, planting bush light cans by our spot, planning to call Adult Protective Services on Dad like he's a neglected elder instead of a decorated hero who can still field strip an M16 blindfolded. I played one clip on loop until the words branded themselves on my brain. Valerie hissing, "We'll make it look like the cripple's living in a tent city. They'll drag him away in handcuffs, and I'll finally get my view back." I saw red, so dark it had texture. The county hearing was standing room only. 180 souls packed shoulder to shoulder, veterans in dress blues, kids waving signs that said, "The lake is not your moat." News crews from 3 stations. Even the Star Tribune sent their investigative pitbull. Outside, Valerie's dwindling loyalists clutched "Save Our Property Values" signs while disabled vets countered with "I lost legs, not rights." Valerie rolled in like Scarface at the end, convoy of black Escalades. 3 lawyers from Minneapolis who bill $950 an hour, plus a crisis PR guy who looked like he'd rather be waterboard. Her lead counsel, silver hair, suit that cost more than my cabin, did the full Broadway, PowerPoint slides about economic terrorism, hired expert, claiming quarrying would kill every fish from here to Hudson Bay and turn the water fluorescent. Then I took the podium. 1 folder, 1 clicker, 1 deep breath. Slide 1. Grandpa Harlan's 1959 easement, blown up 10 feet wide, the clause highlighted in blood red. Public access in perpetuity, enforceable by heirs with full police power if necessary. Slide 2. 4K trail cam footage. Valerie at 2:17 a.m. crowbarring survey stakes, face lit by my floodlight like a raccoon caught in a Costco rotisserie. Slide 3. Audio of her offering Commissioner Bradley $25,000 in campaign support to lose my quarry permit, recorded because Bradley's been burned before and wires everything. Slide 4. Drone thermal imaging of Preston's illegal fill dirt. 3.2 acres of protected wetlands turned into McMansion pads. $3.8 million in EPA fines already drafted. The room went so quiet you could hear Valerie's soul leaving her body. She snapped, jumped up screaming about socialist land grabs, and people like that don't belong in civilized communities. Same phrase that already torched her online, now repeated in front of 3 news cameras and 180 witnesses. Security dragged her out still shrieking about her view and her rights, heels scraping linoleum like nails on God's chalkboard. Her lawyers followed with the resigned faces of men who just watched their client commit ritual seppuku on live television. Dad wheeled up last, quiet as incoming thunder. I didn't spend 13 months in a jungle, so some woman in tennis whites could tell me where I can fish. This lake belongs to every kid who ever lost a bobber, every vet who needs the sound of water to drown out the sound of war. Not to people who think community means people who look like me. The standing ovation lasted 4 full minutes. Grown men cried. Vote was 5-0. Immediate injunction, $85,000 HOA fine, criminal referrals for vandalism, bribery, impersonation, evidence tampering, the works. Valerie's house hit Zillow that afternoon. Price slashed weekly until it sold to the quarry company for 62 cents on the dollar. Preston's empire folded like origami in a hurricane. Last I heard they're in a 55 plus in Naples. Valerie already measuring palm trees with a ruler and terrorizing the pickleball league. We quarried clean, surgical, made $2.6 million after taxes, turned the illegal fill zones into wetlands so pristine the DNR uses them for brochures. Federal grants built Sergeant Major Thomas Caldwell Memorial Pier, fully accessible, with braille trail markers and a plaque that says some things are bigger than any one person's view. Dad teaches knot tying every Saturday now. Same spot Valerie tried to steal, surrounded by kids who don't care about property values, only about whether the perch are biting. The smell of pine needles warming in morning sun is the same, but sweeter now, because nobody can ever take it away again. Sometimes late at night, I still sit on the porch with a bourbon and watch the northern lights dance across water that finally, truly belongs to everyone. Grandpa's insurance policy wasn't limestone. It was justice, slow release, 70 years in the making, activated the moment a bully decided a disabled veteran's peace was negotiable. So tell me, when someone weaponizes fake badges and 911 calls to steal a healing place from a man who already gave his legs for this country, is it wrong to use every legal landmine your grandfather buried, like a time capsule, to take their entire kingdom away piece by manicured piece? Is it revenge, or just the universe balancing the scales one orange survey flag at a time? Drop your worst HOA horror story below. I read every single one, no matter how unhinged. Because somewhere out there another Valerie is warming up her golf cart, and another grandpa left a trap door even she can't see coming. Hit subscribe if you believe some things should never be for sale. Not lakes, not dignity, not the sound of a reel singing through morning mist older than any covenant or cul-de-sac. The Caldwells are just getting warmed up. See you at the water.